Yes, even can be forgiven.
No, and I'm going to prove my point throughout the entirety of this video, because what I'm sick of is this simplistic view of forgiveness where somebody commits a crime or a heinous act and they just say, oh, I feel sorry. And automatically in some people's eyes, that means you're supposed to forgive them. No, it takes change. It takes effort. It takes the accountability to understand what you did was wrong. And maybe then you could be forgiven by the humans who walk this earth. The Lord and Savior is a different story because he may look at this a little bit differently. But while you still live and breathe on this earth, you will be judged by the humans who also live and breathe on this earth. And when you ask at least 100 people, would you forgive somebody who violated a child? Majority will probably say no. There will be some people who say yes, but then there will be that weird group who always wants to have that common discussion as if it's something we're too focused on and the punishment shouldn't match the crime, or you should probably find some third excuse for what's going on. And I want you all to put a pin in that because we'll deal with that a little bit later. To reference what I talked about earlier in forgiveness, you would actually have to be somebody worthy of the forgiveness, and that takes change. So imagine, this is going to be horrible for you. Imagine you are a registered violator of the children and you decide that after you've been exposed and you've paid the time and crime, that you decide it's time to start doing better with your life. So you find a job and the opportunity to make some money. That way you can continue living life as best you can, repenting, being remorseful, holding yourself accountable, and changing for the better. I would make the subtle argument that even though you committed that crime, that is acceptable. Acknowledging the wrong and going forth with your life, making sure you never repeat that again. And then you interact with a 12-year-old boy and start saying he's cute and asking if he's taken, because that's what a registered did while delivering food to DoorDash.
Hey man, how you doing, DoorDash?
Good.
Here you go.
Thank you.
You are beautiful. Are you taking?
What?
I'm saying you are beautiful. Are you taking?
The funniest part is he's not even supposed to be a DoorDash driver. Him and whatever idiot that played a part in it did the scam where one person goes in and registers as a DoorDash driver, and then the other guy, the registered, goes in and starts delivering food to all these different people. That's not allowed on DoorDash. So when DoorDash caught wind of this, because boy, for these past few months, DoorDash has had horrible PR, from people lying about being assaulted to people spitting in food on Ring camera to this. It's been horrible for DoorDash these past number of months. They found out and terminated that account and contacted law enforcement, because I would think, and this is just me being crazy, when you have people representing your company that are registered, you don't want them on camera saying that kids are attractive and if they are taken. That's a problem. And it speaks to what I've been saying for months, that it don't matter who you are, what the skin is, your political affiliation. You do something that embarrasses a company, even when you're technically not even supposed to be working for them or delivering anything on their company's behalf, you will be fired. And in this case, law enforcement will be called on you. I stated at the beginning that a majority of people wouldn't forgive someone who violates children. And the reason why is because they have it in their minds that this person who's sitting there and being very remorseful, they're talking a big game, they might think that this dude is just saying that to get everybody off his back, just so that he could, at a moment's notice, at the perfect opportunity, do it again. And what does it say that a guy who's registered sees an opportunity with a child in front of him and he takes it? That is not somebody who deserves forgiveness. forgiveness. That is not someone who has recognized accountability. That is somebody who's gotten off and has been freed out into the public, who's waiting for the opportunity to do it again. And the dumbest opportunity was when a Ring camera was in front of his face. These Ring cameras are not small, covert things that you could just hide anywhere on your door. Those things are bulky and they're noticeable. And if you are somebody, this is horrible advice to give publicly, but if you're somebody trying to commit a crime, why would you do it with a Ring camera right there in front of you? Now you're going to get law enforcement knocking on your door wondering, hey, you're registered, so why did you think it was a good idea to start hitting on a child? And hopefully, if I live in a perfect world, you will be back in handcuffs and in jail again. And the motherfucker who helped you by signing in and letting you be a DoorDash driver on their account, hopefully, and I know this is just pie in the sky, you also get thrown in jail too. But I referenced earlier a pin that needs to be taken out in terms of people who want to say that punishment doesn't match the crime and we should think about this because if we don't think about this, we'll think about that and how much this harms individuals in what way and what form. And when we're talking about children being violated, the worst case scenario in that topic is when children also violate children. And that's what happened to a 12-year-old girl because these two dumb fucks decided to violate a child at so much of a disgusting degree that rocks were put in the girl's mouth to stop her from screaming.
Two young teens are in trouble and facing a judge on some very serious adult charges involving accusations of kidnapping and 7's Jordan Cassine is live for us in Miami at the police department with these disturbing details. Jordan?
Well, all of the teenagers involved here, including that young girl and both of the boys, we're told were neighbors. We learned that things didn't come to an end for that young girl until her father heard her screams and came running in. Teenagers left terrified in this Miami neighborhood Friday.
I was honestly shocked when I heard that it happened at all, initially from a child in the neighborhood. And then I was even more shocked when I found out it was a 12-year-old. She is literally a child.
After a 12 and 13-year-old boy remained behind bars and without bond. The duo, who live nearby, facing adult charges after being accused of a 13-year-old girl.
You're 12 years old?
Yes. Yes, Your Honor.
12-year-old Josiah Jones charged with aggravated battery and false imprisonment. 13-year-old Nelson Nunez charged with sexual battery on a minor and kidnapping.
You're actually indicted. You have a grand jury indictment charging you with very serious charges. It's actually, you were indicted by a grand jury and transferred to from juvenile court to adult court.
The nightmare unfolding in June of last year when those teens, along with another underage co-defendant and an underage witness, approached that 13-year-old girl nearby the 200 block of Northwest 11th Terrace, forcing her into this nearby community garden, then holding her by her arms and legs, preventing her from leaving, then putting rocks in her mouth in an attempt to stop her from screaming. The defendant then removed.
I cannot lie to you. This is drastically uncomfortable to listen to.
No bond on count 1 and no bond on count 2.
Those 12 and 13-year-olds currently being held in a special unit for juveniles who are charged with adult crimes.
Count 1 is no bond. I'm sorry, count 2 is no bond. Count 3 is also no bond.
Now, why do I bring this to your attention? It's because I think we could all agree these two deserve to be in jail. You committed a grown adult crime, you should be in jail. And that's where you need to belong for a long time. But when you scroll down to the African American Juvenile Justice Project, they say the African American Juvenile Justice Project does not condone the of a child. Okay, I don't think anybody would, unless you're somebody who does do that, then you're also a weirdo. No more than we condone charging children 12 and 13 respectively with as adults. Well, now we've lost the plot just a little bit. At the end of the day, these are children who committed a grown adult criminal act. They are in need of treatment and rehabilitative services. They are in need of nothing more than JAIL because they decided it would be in their best interest to violate a little girl. I don't know where they could have possibly learned any of this from, but I would also recommend locking up the parents too, locking up the guardians too, because it's at that point we got a whole system of excuses and lack of accountability to where we need to start locking up the parents too. Because what does it say? That we have adults who barely give a damn and don't respect children and their bodies to the point where they violate them, and we also got kids who are learning the exact same thing. All three of them belong in jail with no safety net, with no ability for them to get out until they've recognized, and maybe you could get that rehabilitation in jail, not outside of jail, where you recognize what you're doing is wrong. It's evil, it's sickening, and it puts you in the fiery pits of hell where you belong. So, to answer the question set up by the woman at the beginning of the video, no, and I will never. It's not up to me. It's up to the Lord. And you know, maybe with a little bit of actual repenting and not just saying, oops, my bad, G, you could actually be forgiven by the Lord. But as long as you walk this earth, I cannot forgive you, because those children deserve nothing but learning about the world, learning about the good in the world, also learning about the bad. They should never have to experience said bad. They should never have to be violated by adults or by children. But because we have people who want to paint a broad brush or try to get a gotcha with a should you forgive this or should you forgive that, it'll be excused by stupid people, and those stupid people won't have an answer when motherfuckers continue to violate children other than, well, fuck, I don't know, because that's all they really ever have. Subscribe to the channel. I will see you all in the next one. Mwah! Goodbye.